Okay, good morning everyone. Am I audible? Okay, so I think there was a slight mix-up. My topic for today is actually educating women in high-tech careers and why is it a better future. I would like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Swapna Subramani and I am a research manager at IDC, primarily into IT, market research and consulting. So I am a numbers geek, not really very technical, but definitely a numbers geek. And I got into this field. I've been in this field for over 8 years now, and I love it. It is IT, but it's not really like the tech IT. And I'll tell you more about why I got into this field, and would like to focus more on